As Diddy faces multiple civil suits and raids on his homes, many are wondering what his ex, JLo, thinks about all this. And she's spoken up in a new documentary. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. JLo has a new documentary out on Amazon Prime, which you can check out. I've been looking for specific quotes. This isn't really very juicy yet, but it does seem she knows something. And I'm curious how much JLo knows. Do you think she knew the extent of these allegations? Do you think she doesn't believe them? Do you think she knew what was happening with the likes of Usher and stuff at these parties? The question I have in my mind is how much would she have known? Was she kept in the dark? Let's go through what we know so far. Okay, so inside JLo's explosive relationship with P. Diddy, she says he was the first man to cheat on her and left her a month before the trial on gun charges, but denies he was the ex who was rough and manhandled her. Now, she once revealed that Sean Combs was the man who cheated on her during the tumultuous relationship. The rap mogul's homes in Miami obviously were raided, as we know, but JLo obviously is with Ben Affleck now, but has spoken fondly of Diddy, calling her a mentor. I want to go back to this clip before we can get to the newer stuff. Here's what she said to CBS. This was back in 2019.
The Puffy era was just kind of like a crazy, heightened time in my life. You know, Puffy and I were like, both grew up in the Bronx. He had been in the music business and had all the success. I was just starting and making my first album when I met him. He became kind of a mentor to me in that moment. We had this kind of crazy, tumultuous relationship and that ended in like a bang, let's say. And
almost literally.
Yeah, and it was definitely a moment, but I felt like it was necessary. Like he was meant to be in my life at that moment to teach me what I needed to know about the music business, about what kind of artist I wanted to be in the music industry.
She's very careful with her words there, as you can see. Very careful. It's interesting because she's clearly not speaking incredibly fondly, but she's speaking respectfully, as one would do with an ex. And if you'd think if she knew of criminal behavior, I don't know, I would read it a little differently. This is tougher for me. Maybe she was in the dark if there were things. Maybe there are no things, right? He's still innocent until proven guilty. All I know is Usher confirmed there were parties with people who shouldn't be at those parties, age-wise. So this is a tough one so far. I've yet to see anything where she really has put something out against Diddy, aside from the fact that she admitted he was unfaithful. I want to go to this part right here. Yeah, they dated again, if you forget. I can never forget because that Oscar dress was all the rage. The South Park guys even dressed up as it. This was one of the most iconic Oscar dresses probably ever. Or I guess this was at the Grammys. They wore it to the Oscars, sorry. One of the red carpet dress is what I meant. But yeah, everyone was talking about it. She was there. They were a power couple. But yeah, it was 1990 to 2001, and JLo claimed that Diddy was the first man to be unfaithful to her, but was not the ex who manhandled her. As we get into more of these the specifics on their relationship, which was huge in the 90s, she's previously opened up about it, explained the duo met just as she was entering stardom. Diddy always comes in at that early phase. She was releasing her debut album, which he helped produce. Talking to CBS, she said became kind of a mentor. That's what we talked about. The couple was together for 2 years before going their separate ways in 2001, with JLo claiming that when the controversial rapper cheated on her, it was the first time she'd experienced infidelity. Speaking to Vibe magazine in 2003, she said, "It was the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful. I never caught him, but I just knew. He'd say he was going to the club for a couple hours, and then he never came back that night." So now when you actually go get the quote, it's interesting. So she didn't catch him. So was he unfaithful? Maybe she just thinks that. Maybe he was working, but we know he was at these crazy parties. So to me, this implies she's either protecting herself and she knows. That's one option. I got to keep but again, we're speculating here. Or she didn't know. She was kept in the dark. He was going off to these, keeping her at home and keeping it professional, and then going off to these darker things that she wasn't privy to. In which case you'd think if she wasn't privy to, she'd be speaking more out. But, you know, again, it's tough for some of these celebrities to speak out until there's actual criminal allegations that come forward. You don't want to be out there as part of a mob trying to cancel someone until there's actually charges that were made. She added that relationship and Diddy's infidelity took her to some pretty dark places. She said, "I was totally crying, crazy, and going nuts. It really took my whole life in a tailspin." Was it the infidelity or was it things she was finding out about Diddy? That's another, again, speculation question as we're looking all into this. JLo found happiness with Affleck. She opened up about her past abusive relationships and the documentary Greatest Love Story Never Told. And she described being thrown around and manhandled by lovers, but did not disclose who. The relationship described, according to insiders, now mind you, not from JLo specifically, so it could still be him. According to insiders, the relationship described in JLo's documentary was not with Diddy. A source said the singer had been referring to a different past relationship. What do you think? I don't know. Jennifer, who did not identify who had been abusive to her in the past, said, there were people in my life who said, I love you, and then didn't do things that were kind of in line with the word love. Being thrown around and manhandled like that is not fun. I mean, I was never in a relationship where I got beat up, thank God, but I've definitely been manhandled and a couple of other unsavory things, rough, disrespectful. What does that mean, right? Specifically. But then, yes, many on Reddit, everyone all obviously assuming it was with Sean, considering a bunch of allegations, PD coming out. I wonder if there's a connection between now speaking out publicly. Femmail contacted representatives of JLo for comment, but no, nobody has come forward. So overall, she's still, not throwing him under the bus. I'm not entirely surprised. Could that change? Who knows? Again, right now, we have to treat these as allegations. They are. The man's innocent till proven guilty. They had a relationship. It seems odd that she would have been with someone for 2 years, seemingly so serious, and then stay with him if he's really doing the things that are being alleged. Is she complicit, right? A lot of these people in Hollywood, are they trying to cover up for sort of what the industry used to be? Again, I don't know. We don't know. I'm just trying to throw all the things out there and tell you what we do know and what she has said. And those are the quotes that I can find regarding it. Nothing else really has popped up yet. And I'm curious if more will. And she hasn't specifically denied that the relationship where she was disrespected was Diddy. So it still could be. Anything's still on the table. But I'm not surprised to see JLo not speaking out of turn. You don't really want your exes. It's not a good look. Now, if there are crimes and things, sure. But if she didn't know about them, what is she supposed to say? Well, I didn't know about them. If she did, well, even more effed up. But I don't know. I'm not getting that vibe from her. But I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think this is still some sort of cover up? Do you think she's involved, complicit? Or do you think he probably kept her in the dark? I want to hear your thoughts based on the quotes that we have. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for all alerts so you get notified, and smash the thumbs up. That is crucial. Appreciate all you guys who've been watching. Leave your comments down below. And again, we have a tip line, popcornplanet@gmail.com. Remember, that's how it's spelled, Popcorn Planet Team. Don't just send me a bunch of news articles. I'm talking about people who have inside knowledge. We will keep you off the record. We just want to vet you, make sure you're real. We want to get to the truth. If we're onto something, if we're not onto something, heck, if you know Diddy's being railroaded, I want to hear all of it. Please, we're trying to look at this objectively, but I got to be honest based on what I'm looking at. It's not looking good. Regarding JLo, I'm not seeing anything too salacious yet. What are your thoughts on that? Are you surprised? I want to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.